Commitment. In my experience, regardless of your ability, regardless of the amount of money you have, regardless of whatever, this is obviously the secret sauce in helping you move from ordinary to extraordinary. So I have a question for you. Where are you in your level of commitment of achieving your goals and making your dreams come true? Hi everyone, Chris Natzke here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of a Champion tip of the week. Commitment. Several years ago, I was seated in the audience listening to a speaker share his message, and he was talking about the concept of commitment. And he shared with us that he had had bacon and eggs that morning for breakfast. And he said the chicken was involved, but the pig was committed, right? The pig was committed. And you know, what's really shown up in my life, in my experience as a martial arts instructor for almost 5 decades, as well as in the work that I do now as a life leadership coach and speaker and facilitator, is that people's level of commitment is oftentimes their secret weapon. Doesn't matter how much money you have, how much skill you have, it's about the people that just keep showing up. You know, in my work as a martial arts master instructor, I have over 1,500 students to date that have tested for and received their black belt from me. And when I think about all those students throughout the last 27 years, I can think of only 2 that when they showed up the very first time for their initial class, is they basically had all of the elements that you needed to be a black belt. Focus, concentration, strength, flexibility, tenacity, all those things, only 2. Now those 2 did receive their black belts with me, but it also means that about 1,498 didn't have those skills initially, but they eventually achieved their goal of getting their black belt. And what was the difference? They just kept showing up. They had a level of commitment that, rather than it just be something that they were involved in or interested in, which could be dictated by outside circumstances, they were committed to it. And they were going to get there in whatever way possible. And they basically, what they did is they illustrated something that we talk about all the time in the martial arts, but also works well in life, is that a black belt is a white belt that never quit. A black belt is a white belt that never quit. So what can we do in our own lives to make sure that we are demonstrating the level of commitment to make our own dreams come true? Well, I basically have 3 ideas for you today that I want to share. And number 1 is whatever you're committed to is make sure that you're pre-committed to it. Number 1, you're pre-committed. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means if you've decided that in the morning you're going to get up and you're either going to go take a walk or you're going to go out and take a run in order to get in better shape, maybe release some weight, etc. You don't make that decision, you don't make that commitment when the alarm goes off and you're all wrapped up in that nice warm blanket and then you decide to do it. No, what you do is you pre-commit to it, which means that you literally put your running clothes or your walking clothes at the foot of your bed. So as soon as that alarm goes off, you get up and you start getting dressed. You start putting on your workout gear. You start tying and putting on your shoes. They're right there. You're not making that decision when you're all warm and cozy. You've already pre-committed to it. So where do you have an opportunity to pre-commit to those things that are most important to you? Number 2 is kind of in alignment with this, but it's just taking it one step further, and that's to schedule it. The things that are most important to you in your life, schedule them in your calendar. Don't do them when you get to them, when everything else is done. Make them anchors in your calendar. Whether it's your physical workout, whether it's your spiritual practices, whether maybe it's your date night with your significant other. It's anchored in your calendar. It's already scheduled, and all the other things work their way around them. That's a way of practically establishing your level of commitment. And then finally, is be committed to 1% improvement each and every day. Now, what do I mean by that? You know, many times when we start and we're trying to have a breakthrough in our life or a breakthrough in our business, we set some very lofty goals for ourselves, and we start out super strong. But pretty soon what happens is it gets uncomfortable. It's outside that comfort zone. And we literally go into what author Lanny Basham calls the panic zone. It's so uncomfortable we can't maintain it, and we snap back to our original way of being. But what he advocates in his book, With Winning in Mind, is that we move into what's called the stretch zone. And that's getting a little bit uncomfortable every day and stepping out of that comfort zone, even if it's just 1%. Now, you might think, well, 1%, that's not a big deal. How can that get me anywhere? Well, I want you to consider this. If you decided to get 1% better at any activity each day over the course of a year, 1% better, 365 consecutive days, by the end of a year, you'd be 37 times better than when you started. Now, what if you maintain that for 2 years? Well, you may be thinking, well, I'd be twice as good. I'd be 74 times better. But it's not true. You'd literally be 1,400 times better because those good habits, those good actions, they don't add up, they compound. And if you did that over 5 years, wait for it, you'd be 76 million times better. So it oftentimes isn't the massive action you take, it's the small and incremental things you do each and every day that lead to massive results. So there you have it, my friends. There are 3 ways that you can lean into your level of commitment in your life, whether it's in your business, your health and wellness, your relationships, your spirituality, whatever you wish it to be. And I'd encourage you today is identify at least one area of your life that you want to lean into your level of commitment and start taking action on that today. Now, if you're serious about it, I want you to give something some consideration. Starting in January, I'm going to be making available my Breaking Through coaching program. I did it in 2022, had some great results with people, and we're going to bring it back in January of 23. And what we're going to do is bring a group of up to 8 people together that are committed to making a breakthrough in their lives. We're going to meet weekly over 6 weeks to make sure that we stay on track. You're going to have buddies within there to hold you capable, and you're also going to have individual coaching time with me. And we're going to go over what I call the 3 C's of creating breakthroughs, and that's to have a vision, to clarify that vision, to create your plan to make it done, and then have the commitment to take consistent action. So is that something that seems interesting to you and you're committed to making a breakthrough in this new year? Just click on the link in the comment section of this video and set up a time for you and I to sit on the phone or on a Zoom call and chat about if this program is good for you. So anyway, are you ready to be committed? Are you the chicken or are you the pig? All right, folks, this has been great. Love sharing my message with you. This has been Chris Natzke with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching, and we'll see you next time on the Mind of a Champion Tip of the Week.